Hey, what's up, guys? This is Adam Clanton of Sports Talk 790, and you're listening to No Mercy on Spreaker Web Radio with my guys Nick Lott and Ryan Musich.
All right, welcome, guys. I did it again. The microphone is muted, but No Mercy, Spreaker Web Radio. Sorry about that minute and a half moment of silence. Well, I mean, you got a little bit of music in there, but now we're still talking sports. Back to a second hour. First hour went really, really well. We're going to touch on some NFL free agency, some more college basketball, some more NBA basketball. Davis Webb's going to join us over the phone, Texas Tech quarterback, talk a little Texas Tech recruiting.
And if we're lucky, we'll get some baseball talk in, too. Spring training's coming up, and it's about that time, people, for opening day.
And, I need to learn to unmute the microphone because that's not the first time that's happened to me. But, we're going to talk a little bit of NBA basketball on a broader scale. Again, like we said earlier, the Rockets won a nail-biter at home against the Portland Trail Blazers. And like Ryan said, they have a huge week coming up on the road. You said they play the Bulls.
Playing Oklahoma City Tuesday. They're going to Chicago Thursday. And then they head to Miami to end the road trip, and they come back home for a nice stretch of home games. It's going to be a crucial road trip. Those are definitely not easy teams. As everybody knows, Oklahoma City is on top, first in the Western Conference. But not a lot of people know the Rockets are only 3.5 games behind, only a half game behind the Spurs. So I mean, they're definitely making their run, and the Portland Trail Blazers have a hard road trip. They're on the midst of a 5-game road trip right now. They played Dallas. They almost came back from a 30-point deficit the other night to beat Dallas. They lost the Rockets tonight, so they're 0-2 on the road trip. The Rockets took the series tonight 3-1, which could be big because the Rockets are 4 in the standings and the Blazers are 5. So if there happens to be a tiebreaker, the Rockets will get that 4th spot and get home court advantage in the playoffs. So that can be really
That'll
big.
That'll be huge, yeah.
Oh yeah, because when you get Toyota Center rocking, that is a fun place to be. I went to a game last year against Oklahoma City, and that was probably one of the best experiences I've ever had at a sporting event. That was really fun. But they got a tough road trip ahead as well. So I mean, this is really gonna show how the Rockets definitely match up with these really good teams in the Western Conference and basically the whole NBA period. Other than that, the Rockets have beat some really good teams, and it's been awesome to watch these guys play. They took 3 out of 3 games from the Spurs this year, which has been awesome to watch as well. They've took 3 out of 4 from the Portland Trail Blazers, which they've had some really good games. They've also took they've gotten swept by Oklahoma City, but they've definitely shown signs that they can beat. They definitely have shown that they can beat that Oklahoma City squad. Oklahoma City has a really good team as well. It's just a stacked Western Conference. The Suns, it's just stacked top to bottom, and everybody's separated by about a couple games. So it's not nobody has the clear path to take the Western Conference.
Nobody has a clear advantage.
Oh yeah. So it's going to be definitely a great couple final weeks of basketball in the NBA, and it's just going to be really fun to watch and see how these teams fare and see what teams get weeded out.
We talked a lot about the West Coast or the Western Conference. What do you think about the Eastern Conference? Obviously, the Heat and the Pacers are the big two.
Oh yeah, like I said last segment. The Pacers have a great defense. They're not the best offensive team. they are the number 1 defensive team in the NBA. The Heat are right behind them at 2. And, I mean, just from there, you have Atlanta, they're kind of struggling. They've had a few injuries. Al Horford's out for the year. You also have Charlotte. Charlotte, surprisingly to people, is number 6 in the NBA on just total defense. I mean, they have a great young squad. They have a lot of salary cap to spend, and it's just going to be fun to watch. You also have the Washington Wizards, who John Wall's starting to really emerge this year. They have an underrated squad with Trevor Ariza and John Wall, Nene. I mean, they have a good young squad as well. I think just a lot of teams in the Eastern Conference, they're young, and I mean, it'll take a couple years, but I mean, a lot of them do have potential. Kind of like the Western Conference. You have the Kings, who have a great young squad with DeMarcus Cousins, Isaiah Thomas, Jimmer Fredette. I mean, he got cut, I know, but I mean, they had, I said, just all around a great young squad as well. And I mean, you got the Los Angeles Lakers, who, they might have lost Kobe, and they have a terrible squad this year. But they also have a big cap. They have a lot of cap room, just like the Rockets. And this offseason, with Kevin Love about to be a free agent, Carmelo might be a free agent as well. He has a chance to opt out of his contract. It's just there's just a lot of good young teams, and yeah, they're not good right now, but in a couple years they're going to be in the playoff race, and that's what I love about the NBA. I mean, it's just you have young teams who aren't technically bad, but they're not good. I mean, it's just young. You just gotta give them a couple years. I mean, it's just really fun.
Man, what do you think about the Brooklyn Nets? They've kind of been up and down this year.
They've started to play well. They lost Brooke Lopez for the year, but Andre Blatch just stepped right in. Not Vince Carter. They have Paul Pierce and KG. They age like fine wine. They get better.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
They also have Darren Williams. Darren Williams, if Darren Williams can stay healthy, they can definitely make a run in the playoffs. There was word at the middle of the year that Darren Williams was trying to get traded to the Rockets for Jalen and Omer Asik. Well, it turns out that they didn't go through with it because of Darren Williams' bad ankle, and which is understandable. I mean, you don't want. I hate to say damaged goods because he's definitely not damaged goods. He still has game. He can still play, but I mean, you'd rather have fully healthy people, and they can definitely make a run. That team is pretty good all around as well. They have good bench along with experience, which is always great when it comes to the playoffs. So, the Brooklyn Nets got a good squad this year.
And I mean, what do you think about Brad? I don't know if you talked about this or not. I've been kind of updating Twitter, making sure people know Davis is going to join me next segment.
Get the word out, people.
Yeah, like I said, if you're listening now and you have any questions that you want Davis Webb to answer, tweet at me at NotTheFakeInLot. I will ask Davis the questions that y'all want to hear, because that's what makes a show. Listeners make a show. If there was a way I could have y'all guys call in and communicate with us, that'd be awesome. But I haven't quite figured that out yet.
There might be a way. Y'all can call my cell phone and I can.
Yeah, hit us up 832-693-0597 if you want to join No Mercy. It's worth a shot to say it, I guess.
832-452-2828 if you want to call me and
we'll put you on speakerphone. Yeah, we'll talk to you and we'll get this show going. But I mean, we're talking about, like I said, everything under the sun, and I mean, this is just so much fun. We've been trying to do this for the longest time, and it's just awesome.
2 years.
Yeah, it's just awesome that we've been able to work it out. I mean, this is our dream. This is what we want to do in the future, and fortunately, I've gained quite a following on here on Spreaker. I've lucked out. It's fallen into the right people's hands.
It's been a blessing.
Yeah, it really has. And I mean, we've reached out, all those spoken intros, it's people that are in the industry. They took time out of their day to help us out, and that means the world.
We can't thank them enough at all.
Yeah, and I just tweeted Adam Clinton and told him to listen, so I don't know if he's tuned in yet or not. But Adam, thank you so much for that spoken intro. It was awesome, man. And like I said, Davis Webb will join us next segment. We are going to take a quick break, about 2 minutes long. Davis Webb will join us on the other side. Be right back. No Mercy, Spreaker Web Radio. I won't forget to unmute the microphone after this break. Be right back.
Bud Light presents Real Men of Genius. Real men Today we salute you, Mr. Way Too Much Cologne Wearer.
Mr. Way Too Much Cologne Wearer.
Like a bullhorn, your cologne announces your every arrival, 4 blocks before you get there.
Here he comes now.
Here a splish, there a splash, everywhere a splish splash. You don't stop till every square inch of manhood is covered.
Everywhere a splish splash.
Overslept and haven't got time to shower? Not to worry. You've got 4 gallons of cologne and a plan.
Going on.
So crack open an ice cold Bud Light, Mr. Way Too Much Cologne Wearer, because we think we smell a winner.
Mr. Way Too Much Cologne Wearer.
Budweiser presents Real Men of Genius.
Real man of genius.
Today we salute you, Mr. Really Bad Toupee Wearer.
Mr. Really Bad Toupee Wearer.
More than any neon sign or exploding scoreboard ever could, your chrome dome cover says, "Hey guys, look at me."
What could you be thinking?
You think it looks natural, but it couldn't look phonier if it had a chin strap.
Look at you.
Made of space-age fibers, it can repel anything. Rain, wind, snow, and especially young women.
I don't think so.
So crack open an ice-cold Budweiser, Mr. Stud in a Rug. Then crack open another for that thing on your head.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Adam Clanton of Sports Talk 790, and you're listening to No Mercy on Spreaker Web Radio with my guys Nick Lott and Ryan Musich. Hey, what's up, guys? This is Adam.
We're back. No Mercy, Spreaker Web Radio, Nicola, Ryan Musich. We're joined right now with Texas Tech quarterback Davis Webb over the phone. Davis, thanks for joining us.
No problem, anytime.
So definitely we wanted to talk a little bit about the recruiting class. I meant to do it a while back, but we both got really busy. Y'all signed 25 guys. What do you think about the guys y'all have coming in? I saw y'all have a huge target at the wide receiver position. Jakari Dillard, 6'4", 180. So what do you think about the guys y'all have coming in?
Yeah, hosting a lot of those guys and getting them up to campus and showing them around and, going to eat with their parents and getting to know them, where their backgrounds are from. I think we signed a really good class of good guys and they can play football. So, I think our coaching staff did a really good job. This is their first class other than ours. Well, ours was different because they only had a couple months to put us together and they had a full year. So, I think they did a really good job, and we got a lot of good players, and we signed a good quarterback, and Patrick Mahomes got a nice running back, 2 good running backs, and one running back coach Loveland in Stockton, and then we have a couple good receivers, and Jakari Dillard, whose dad's a coach, who's coached the kid, who's got to bring some work ethic to the table, and Ian Tyler and Karen Batson. So, we have a lot of G2 guys coming in as well, so we have a good class, I believe.
How's spring ball going for y'all? I realize y'all started up this past week, I guess, and how's that going for y'all?
Yeah, we'll have practice 3 tomorrow, and the first 2 practices look really, really good. Flying around, and I think someone said we're returning 73 lettermen, so we're a very experienced group, and we know what Coach Kingsbury expects from us, and we know we expect from him. So the first 2 days went really good, so we just got very strong.
Hey, Davis, Ryan Musich here, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing great, good. Love watching you on the field, man. I have a question. How do you think? What do you feel about that new playoff system the BCS is putting in there?
Oh yeah, it's gonna be exciting. It's 4 teams, and 4 plays 1, 2 plays 3. I think it's gonna add even more popularity to college football because I think it's the most popular sport in the world. Other than NFL, football is the most popular sport in the world.
Does that put any more pressure on y'all as a team, knowing that it kind of whittles the field down a little bit more? Or does that kind of do y'all still play y'all just regular ball and then just see what happens?
I think it's just play our game, because if you win every game, it shouldn't matter. And that's all we worry about is just, getting better every day and, being the first guy on our schedule and the next guy on our schedule, because at the end of the ride, we'll see where we're at.
I mean, I know you're really good friends with Jason Morrow. We talked about this last time I linked up with you, but what's his how are things going with him as far as getting ready for the draft and whatnot?
Yeah, he's working his butt off. He actually got in town. He was my roommate. He got back in town on Thursday and surprised us. So, seeing him was, he looks so much bigger. You can tell he's trimmed down some weight. I think he's 6'6", 265, and he's ready for pro day coming up. I think he might shock people with 40. I wouldn't be surprised if he has a high 4.5, a low 4.6, and I think he apparently did really good at the combine. I watched it. He interviewed really well with his team, so I expect him to get drafted pretty quickly.
Who's going to be throwing to him at the pro day?
I think Seth Diggy is.
Okay. Cool. Another thing, big storyline for y'all, Michael Brewer transferred to Virginia Tech. What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, me and Michael are really good friends, and Baker, so, just hoping the best, because, he really took me under his wing when I first got here at 17, and because he graduated early just like me, and he showed me the ropes, and it really helped me out, so I give a lot of credit to him. I'm really going to miss him. Just wish him the best luck.
And you mentioned Baker. What's the latest on him?
Yeah, I talk to Baker probably once every 2 weeks, and I think he's liking Oklahoma, but, I just wish the best luck for him, too.
Did it kind of surprise you when Brewer transferred, or did you kind of see it coming, or?
I didn't really think too much of it. Whenever I heard about it, I was kind of like, oh, well, okay. He's gone, but I immediately sent a text when he decided to commit to Virginia Tech, and I sent one right back as soon as I sent it. I felt like, and congratulating me on my season, saying good luck to your future. Your future's bright. I'm gonna be watching. So we have a good relationship, but I don't know if I was shocked or anything. It's just Michael made the decision for him and his family, and I wish him the best with it.
Yeah, and man, like I said the last interview, you just have so much talent. I can't wait to see what this next year has in store for you, especially whenever y'all get more into spring ball, because you're gonna, like you said, you're gonna be able to work with those new guys, some of the guys that you threw to last year that didn't quite get the recognition, because you were throwing to Jace a lot of Eric Ward. Do you still talk to Eric Ward? I know he graduated, but does he still help out with y'all around the facilities there or anything like that?
Yeah, so Eric Ward, he left a legacy at Texas Tech. He's top 5 just about every receiving category, and he's the hardest working practice player I've ever seen. At practice, I've never seen somebody that flies around like he does. And he's a good guy, and I know he left a legacy here. And every outside receiver on our team wants to be Eric Ward. And I think he's come back to pro day, and I texted him last week, and he said he wants to throw, I think, tomorrow. So. I'll be happy to go back to him again.
Are y'all on spring break this week, or when's y'all's spring break?
Our spring break's in 2 weeks. Not this week, but the next week.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, y'all still got a week of school, so I guess are you done with midterms and all that?
I just took one, and then I got 2 this week. So.
Okay. Well, good luck. Yeah, good luck with those, man. I know those can be kind of tough, but school going all right for you?
Yeah, school's going good. I'm taking a lot of hours right now, so just grinding.
Yeah, I feel that, man. Well, thanks for joining us, man. It means
Appreciate
a lot,
it.
and good luck with the rest of spring ball, and I hope to see good things from you in the fall, and we'll keep in touch.
Oh, thank you so much. Thanks for having it.
Oh, no doubt,
Take it
Davis.
easy.
All right, no problem.
Later. All right, yeah, Davis Webb, definitely a good guy. You can kind of tell that with him over the phone. I was outside talking to Ryan, and I was like, you know what? I should he's a real nice guy. I just hit him up, gave him a call. I said, hey, man, would you want to join us real quick? He said, yeah, no problem. So
That's definitely one guy that'll be very valuable to an NFL team whenever he gets on, whenever he leaves. That guy. He's definitely NFL bound.
You see the intangibles that he has. He's 6'4". He can make plays with his feet. He's not the most mobile guy out there, but if you need him to pick up 8-10 yards for a first down, he can definitely do it. And the one thing that amazes me about Davis is how young he is and how poised he is in that pocket. Because you saw it Arizona State's they had a great defense, and I mean he picked them apart.
Yeah, that guy, he doesn't just have great physical attributes, but he has definitely a great mental. He can definitely pick your team apart if you give him time.
It's going to be crazy. Like I said, like I just told Davis, it's going to be because I mean you saw what Cliff Kingsbury did at U of H with Case Keenum, and he did that in I think 1 or 2 years.
Did that in 2 years.
Yeah, 2 years. So I mean he has Davis for 3 years, and Davis told me earlier he intends on staying all 4 of those years to get his degree. You can tell school is really important. And Ryan, you mentioned the NFL, but I'm thinking he's going to go the coaching route because his dad's a coach. And I mean, that's going to be a great asset for Tech to have because, I mean, you look at their coaching staff. Kingsbury played there. Mm-hmm. Eric Morris, co-offensive coordinator, played there. Trey Haverty, who works with the wide receivers and wide receivers.
Tradition.
I mean, and Cliff Kingsbury, he made it a point to bring in guys that played there because they know the program. They know where they're trying to take this program. Not saying Tommy Tuberville and his coaching staff did a bad job, but when you get people that went to that school, it's a very different feel because that's the kind of people that the alumni and the boosters can all get behind and
can support.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, like I said, it's tradition.
Because I mean, funny little anecdote here, but I remember when Tommy Tuberville was head coach, the Texas Tech athletic department would call him and ask him if he wanted to give money, and he said, "Well, my dad hated Tuberville. I didn't really have a problem with it. I thought he was more of a defensive. I thought he was going to make the defense better, but I mean his
that's what he's known for.
Yeah, and he said, "Well, is Tommy Tuberville still the head coach at Texas Tech?" And I said, "Well, yes, sir, he is." And he goes, "Well, call me back whenever someone else is," because he was just so mad about the Mike Leach situation. And I think Mike Leach is going to do great things at Washington State.
He has done. He
already has. Game last year. And I mean, I think they can. Within the next couple of years, I expect them to win their division in the Pac-12.
Oh, yeah.
And, I mean, I could go on for hours about Texas Tech football, man. I love it. And I don't want to bore y'all or anything, but, I mean, Texas Tech, like you said, Davis said it himself. They have some good guys coming in. They have some good guys returning. And on the last interview, we talked about some people that he didn't think quite got the recognition that would kind of be breakout guys. And granted, he threw a lot of balls to Jason Morrow and Eric Ward and Bradley Marquez this past year. Bradley Marquez is coming back from what I understand. So they're going to have some chemistry there. That's probably going to be his biggest target next year. I mean, Jace was his best friend. That's huge. That's a huge loss for Tech because he was only a junior. If he came back, he would have made that team that much better. Mm-hmm. But Kingsbury, he's a great recruiter, young guy, can get these guys believe in the right things. And I mean,
the Big 12 is going to be definitely a much improved division.
I mean, 8-5 in his first year. They had a couple games that really could have gone either way, but I mean, it wasn't like a 5-7, 6-6 season. I mean, they're on the rise. They're going to continue to be on the rise, and it's. I can't wait for August to roll around.
Yeah,
college football to start back
with
up
Charlie
again. Strong
not having that great of a recruiting class at UT, there's definitely a chance that. The Red Raiders can surprise everybody in that division and win it. I really think so. They have a great team this year. I mean, I know they probably won't be ranked, but I mean, they'll definitely be in the top 25 by the end.
They weren't even supposed to be ranked this year. They got all the way to 10 in the country.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, they'll definitely be probably in the top, at least 20 by the end of the year. Yeah. I mean, this is a great football team.
And I mean, the proof's in the pudding. You saw what they did against Arizona State. I mean, they beat them on both sides of the ball.
They stomped Arizona. I mean, they stomped Arizona.
And that was the thing for me last year. Texas Tech's defense stepped up in key moments. I mean, you saw Will Smith, Brandon Jackson, just guys flying around on the ball making plays.
Oh, yeah, he's a ball hawk.
Yeah, and I mean, they had a huge defensive recruiting class. And, I mean, they got a 4-star defensive back. They got a bunch of defensive backs, so that secondary is about to be.
It's about to be very well.
And then they got a 6'5", 290-pound defensive tackle. He's supposed to be really good. Keelan McElrath. I've heard good things about him. He's a junior college transfer.
And you heard us mention Jakari Dillard. I mean, that guy. That's a big receiver for Davis, and I mean that's what he needs right now with
with Jace Amaro being gone. I mean, he was a huge target, 6'6", and
that's good that you can have someone like Jakari.
And it wasn't that Amaro was just big; he was fast.
He was skilled too.
He ran a 4.6 at the combine.
Oh yeah, and I mean that's what you need. You need another big guy like that to come in and take Amaro's spot. I'm not saying that he's going to have the same chemistry right off the bat, but with another big target, it's like he never left, throwing wise. I mean, it's just going to be a great season for Tech, and I can't wait to watch it.
Yeah, I'm just so ready for college football to be back.
Oh, yeah. August can't get here fast enough.
It's gonna be fun.
Coming back on my birthday weekend, by the way, the 31st.
Oh yeah,
yes,
we're gonna take a quick break. I won't forget to unmute the microphone. I'm probably not gonna let myself live that down this show. Be right back. No Mercy, Spreaker Web Radio. Nick Lott, Ryan Musich.
Mayhem is everywhere.
I'm your 10-year-old neighbor. You told me I could come over and shoot baskets anytime I want. So here I am, working my prepubescent muscles. Last time I was here, I learned a little trick. At the angle on the hood of your car, bounces the ball back to me in perfect rhythm. Thanks for parking under the hoop again. You're the best neighbor ever. But if you have cut rate insurance, you might not be covered for this. Or this. So get Allstate, where agents keep you protected from mayhem like me. And he shoots from downtown.
Get the coverage you need and the discounts you deserve from an Allstate agent. Dollar for dollar, nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate.
Call your local agent, 1-888-ALLSTATE, or go to allstate.com. Savings and protection based on coverage selected and are subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Actual savings will vary. Allstate Property and Casualty Insurance Company, Northbrook, Illinois.
Hey, guys. I think I'm going to ask that girl out over there.
Her? Carl. You know how this movie ends, man. Let's take inventory. She's a legit 10, right? Right, and you're a 4.
3.5.
3.5.
I see you more as an online dater.
Which is terrific.
Telling it like it is.
Thanks. Your shot.
It works better on the air.
4th down, red zone. Look in the mirror time.
Look in the mirror and then take the 3.
Listen to ESPN Radio anywhere, anytime.
Getting born in the state of Mississippi. Papa was a copper and mama was a hippie. In Alabama, she was swinging a hammer. Price you gotta pay when you break.
This is Mike Meltzer from Sports Radio 610, and you're listening to No Mercy on Spreaker Web Radio with Nick Lott and Ryan Musich.
And we're back from break.
No Mercy, Spreaker Web Radio, Ryan Musich, Nick Lott here with y'all for about 18 more minutes. Gonna get some NFL free agency talking. So without further ado, let's get into that.
Man, it's going to be a fun offseason, Nick. I'm telling you. So many teams. Seattle's coming off a great win in that Super Bowl, and they're even missing some spots. Red Bryant, their defensive tackle, just signed a 4-year deal with Jacksonville, and that's big. That defensive line is that's a great defense, and it starts with that line.
Yeah.
Just look at that Super Bowl. They got they hit Peyton's arm on about three of those interceptions.
Yeah.
I mean, they kept getting to him.
And that was so uncharacteristic of Peyton, just how poor he played. And I mean, he took the blame for that game.
Well, I mean, you can't really put all the blame on Peyton. I mean, that's a good defense. I mean, that's probably one of the best defenses I've seen in quite a few years. I mean, that secondary. With Richard Sherman, Brandon Browner, he's a free agent too, and if the Texans can pick him up, I like him. He was suspended this year. I think it was for testing positive for HG or some kind of steroid. But with Cam Chancellor, you have Earl Thomas. I mean, when Richard Sherman called him the Legion of Boom, he was not kidding. I mean, that was a fantastic defense. I mean, there's just a bunch of teams. The situation in New Orleans with Jimmy Graham, they signed with a franchise tag.
I heard about that. They tried to franchise him as a wide receiver.
The
NFL.
Oh, did they? They didn't allow it?
Yeah, they're not going to allow it.
So, now you got a situation down in New Orleans with Jimmy Graham. And, I was talking to my manager the other day who's a huge Saints fan, and she was telling me that Drew Brees can do the same as he's doing right now without Jimmy Graham. I said, I don't think so. Jimmy Graham is like Andre Johnson. If you took on Andre Johnson from a good quarterback, that's a huge missing piece.
I mean, when I think of Jay Samara, I think of a lot of Jimmy Graham because Jimmy Graham's quick. You can guard him with a linebacker, but he's going to blow right by that guy, and he's tall enough to.
And he's so athletic.
He's tall enough to beat a defensive back.
Oh yeah, he's a former basketball player.
Yeah.
I mean, for the university, I think it was Miami. Yeah. I mean, it's just I mean, they're missing a lot of pieces back on defense too in the Saints. I mean, Jabari Greer gone, Roman Harper gone, Jonathan Vilma gone. I mean, those are some key pieces. And I mean, the Saints, don't quote me on this, but I think they're in trouble if they don't get these guys signed. If they don't do something this offseason. I mean, they have Drew Brees, and they let Darren Sproles go too. I mean, that's a big part of their offense.
Yeah, I was shocked when I saw they let Sproles go because, I mean, he's small, but, I mean, he's a playmaker. He's so quick. They put him back there and return punts, man. I mean, he's just a monster.
I mean, hopefully they have a backup
It's going to be
plan.
Interesting to see who picks him up.
Oh, yeah.
Because, I mean, running back-wise, what do the Saints have left? Mark Ingram and Pierre Thomas?
I think they're about to let Pierre Thomas go, too. I read something about that the other day. I think they already let him go.
So they're putting... They must be thinking...
They must have a plan in place.
Yeah, draft-wise.
But, I mean...
They have to. I mean, when you let that many key people go... Because, I mean, Pierre Thomas, he was one of the key reasons they won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Granted, Drew Brees played a hell of a game that game, but, I mean, Pierre Thomas scored a couple touchdowns as well.
I mean, he had a bad start to the year last year, but the finish he had was amazing. Yeah. I mean, he came on the end of the year when Sproles got hurt. And, I mean, like I said, they better have a plan in place or they're in trouble. And, I mean... there's a lot of good free agents out there defensive wise. You got B.J. Raji, who's a defensive tackle from Green Bay, and he would be a great fit for any team. I mean, he is huge. He's 6'3", about 350 pounds. I mean, I know you saw that dance, do the Raji on the Steak Farm commercial.
Do the Raji.
But I mean, that guy. Man. It's just there's so many good free agents. I mean, the quarterback-wise, though, there's not really one out there, and that's very unfortunate for a lot of teams because you have teams like Oakland and Jacksonville, Texans, Cleveland. I mean, there's just not a lot of experience. I mean, there's Luke McCown, and he played really well. He came out of nowhere last year for the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, he really did.
And I think they said he's 35, and he said he wanted to come back to the Bears or retire, But so far, he hasn't retired.
One thing I did want to touch on, I mean, we're on the topic of free agency, so I guess this would technically be off topic. I mean, there are tons of quarterbacks getting signed to, like, huge contracts. I mean, Jay Cutler comes to mind. The 49ers are trying to sign Kaepernick.
No, Kaepernick. Okay, the situation with Kaepernick wants, what is it, $18 million a year?
18 to 20.
Yeah, and you really think they're going to sign? I would.
The only four people in my mind that are worth that kind of money: Aaron Rodgers, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, and Tom Brady.
You really wouldn't sign Kaepernick? He's led him to 2 AFC championship games in 2 years. That's 2 years? Okay. He's been a starter for 2 years, led him to 2 NFC championship games. You wouldn't sign... You don't think he's that valuable?
I don't know, man. I mean, there's so much...
He hasn't gotten injured either.
Yeah, that's true. But, I mean, when you look at guys like Peyton Manning, you look at guys like Drew Brees, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, they didn't get those contracts after 2 years. I mean, that's a lot of money. Say he does get hurt. Say he goes down with the ACL, like what Robert Griffin had. Robert Griffin has had 2 ACL surgeries because, don't forget, he hurt his knee back at Baylor. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, he's noticeably not – he's still good, but he's noticeably not the same guy.
This year, that was just a train wreck over there in D.C. It's a train wreck over there with Robert Griffin. I mean, you don't know how he's going to come back this year. I mean – It's just a train wreck. I mean, they got a bunch of money.
Those Subway ads, making some money.
A little bit of money, yeah. Okay, I got a question. What do you think of that whole situation about Jim Harbaugh in San Francisco? About how he was they tried to trade him to Cleveland, and then a couple of reports came out last week saying that he was hated by a lot of people in that organization.
Office? Yeah. I don't know, man, because basically what I've heard about Jim Harbaugh is like you either love him or you hate him. And apparently he's on the wrong side of the cards in San Francisco.
Well, I mean, it definitely doesn't help your case when you have guys like Patrick Willis saying publicly that you don't see eye to eye with them.
Yeah. And when your players don't see eye to eye with you, that should kind of tell you something as a head coach.
Especially when it's anchor. I'm pretty sure Aldon Smith said something too. Those are two of your best defensive players back there coming out saying that they don't. I don't want to say they don't like you, but they don't respect you as a coach.
Yeah.
And that's saying something. I mean, especially when they try to trade him. So that kind of makes sense that they tried to trade him, because when you have guys, like I said, when you have guys like Aldon Smith, Patrick Willis coming out and saying stuff like that, I mean, that's not good.
Yeah, not at all. Not by a long shot.
Oh yeah, then you have the situation with Kaepernick. He's saying, "Pay me or get me the heck out." I mean, I don't know. The counter argument to your argument about the whole Manning and Brady and Rodgers, Peyton Manning, they went 2-14 his rookie year with him and starting quarterback. So that's one of the reasons why they didn't pay him. Well, hold on.
Yeah.
With Tom Brady, he wasn't a starter till his second year.
Yeah.
Till that Super Bowl. With Aaron Rodgers, he wasn't a starter either the first 2 years because they had Brett Favre.
Yeah.
So, I mean, back to your point, with Colin Kaepernick, he stepped right in, led him to 2 NFC championships.
Yeah.
So, I think he deserves close to $18 million a year. Maybe not.
I wouldn't go as high as 20. I'd say
probably about 18 and a half.
Okay, Colin Kaepernick, he's worth the money. What about Jay Cutler? Or what about Tony Romo?
Okay, Tony Romo. I know I'm a huge Texans fan. I'm going off the rails here, but I kind of like Tony Romo, and here's why. A lot of people will give him crap about it. He can't get past the big game, but you have that ditzy there and Jerry Jones trying to run this organization. I say give Tony Romo the right coach and the right system. He'd excel really well. And one thing that I used to always say was he wasn't clutching the fourth quarter. I watched a game where they were playing. God, who was it? Was it St. Louis? I can't remember, but I think it was St. Louis, where he led a comeback in like the final minute. And St. Louis isn't a bad defense at all. St. Louis has a good defense. So, I mean, free agency, like I said, there's not a lot of experience in free agency this year, so it's going to be kind of tough for teams like Cleveland and Oakland and the Texans and just teams like that trying to find a quarterback with experience. And that leads me to the whole Ryan Mallett to the Texans thing. I don't know if everybody's heard, but today there was a report from Bleacher Report saying that the Texans were pursuing hard on Ryan Mallett, the backup in New England, and New England's wanting the number 33 pick. And here's my arguments to that, and that kind of scares me, because number one, he's only thrown 3 regular season passes, which is a very, very small sample size.
Yeah. You were saying that last hour.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I don't think I would ever spend that high of a pick, that low of a pick on him.
Well, I mean, didn't they just sign Schaub to some? They
signed him 2 years ago, but here's the thing: they can cut him after June 1st for and they only have to pay like $4 million of his salary. So,
do you think they would do that?
I think so, because with Bill O'Brien, I think they're going to start going in a different direction. He's gonna want to start fresh with the new quarterback, like maybe a Bridgewater or a Bortles, which really scares me as well. Yeah. Or just a new quarterback. And then there was a rumor out there saying that they're trying to get Brian Hoyer out of Cleveland. I don't know if you watched any of his games this year, but he looked really good when he played. He got hurt. I think he tore his ACL and he's out for the year. But he stepped in for Brandon Weeden and played very, very solid ball. So, I mean, it's just going to be a fun free agency. A lot of teams, a lot of great players out there this year, but they're not young. They're old, and, I mean, it's just going to be fun to watch this year.
And one guy, all right, off the top of your head, who's a guy that you think can be a late first round, early second round pick, but have an immediate impact on their team?
Jason Verrett out of TCU. I saw his combine tape, and that guy, his fundamentals are perfect. I was listening to Mike Mayock talk about it from NFL Network, and he had nothing but high praise for this guy. When he was doing the backpedaling and then turn, I mean, he was just quick.
Yeah.
And I think he ran like a 4.5 40 or something like that. He was third. I think he had like the third fastest time for defensive backs, and I really think that a team that needs a nickel. They said he'd be a really good nickel back or a dime back nickel back. I'm sorry, corner. Nickel corner. They said he looked really good. So I mean, I think he's one that can get drafted in that late second round or late first, early second, and really produce. I really liked it. I really liked what I saw from him on the combine.
My guy, is I'm kind of leaning towards Odell Beckham because, I mean, he ran a 4.31 at the Combine. He's got speed. He's got athleticism. He can catch. He can outrun anyone. He can catch a deep ball. I don't know who would pick him up or where he would go. He's definitely going to be a first rounder.
Yeah, he's projected to go late first.
Yeah, I would see him around 20 to 30, somewhere in there. I think Mike Evans will probably be the first wide receiver taken.
They have him
just
going
because
number
of
10.
his size.
Number 10.
Just because of his size, though.
Oh, yeah.
Because, I mean, he has speed. He has hands, but, I mean...
He just needs to work on running his routes.
Yeah.
I mean, once he gets to...
And his attitude, man.
Oh, yeah.
Like...
Well, him and Manziel both.
Yeah.
But no, I also think with Odell Beckham, he reminds me of DeAndre Hopkins a lot. He has the size. He has great hands. He's quick. And, I mean... He might not be good. We were talking about this. You were talking about how he might not be good the first year, but if he gets in the right system, he might really excel. And I think he can be a really good wide receiver if he gets a good quarterback with him.
I mean, I just think if he goes to a team with another good wide receiver, like say he gets drafted, I don't think he would go to the 10th pick to the Lions, but let's just say hypothetically he's out there with...
That's where Mike Evans
Yeah, but let's just say hypothetically Odell Beckham's on the other side of the field with Calvin Johnson. Could you imagine? Or Dez Bryant.
That's like Jadeveon Clowney on the other side, J.J. Watt.
Or let's see, who else is... or he's not going to go first to the Texans, but what if he was out there with Andre Johnson. Andre Johnson and...
That'd be a super Watt.
Duke Hopkins. Yeah, Duke Hopkins. I mean... he's definitely a guy with he's gonna have some potential. I don't know if he'd necessarily start, but he could definitely come in and make an impact his first year.
He definitely can. But I mean, there's a lot that they've been saying this draft is the deepest since 2011. And what interesting fact I saw the other day was 9 out of the first 10 picks have gone to the Pro Bowl. From the 2011 draft. It's been that was a deep draft, and I think there's definitely a chance that this one can definitely do that with Manziel, Teddy Bridgewater. It might take a little bit, but it definitely has potential.
Yeah, I definitely agree. But like I said, pre-draft talk, all that is speculation. I mean.
You can come out with all the mock drafts you want.
Well, I mean, look at Brady Quinn. I think that was 06.
That was 05.
Yeah, 05. He was projected to be like top 5 pick. He didn't get picked till the, I think, 20 or 22nd, something like that. And then, I mean, he's not. I don't even think he's playing anymore.
No,
maybe someone's backup.
No, he retired. I think a couple of years ago.
But yeah, I mean, it just goes to show that...
Well, it's just like that guy from Notre Dame a couple years ago, Jimmy Clausen, went to the Panthers. He's behind Cam Newton now.
He's not going anywhere anytime soon if Cam keeps playing the way he's playing. Because, I mean, you saw... we only got like a minute left. But I do want to touch on Cam Newton a little bit. You saw what he did. I mean, Carolina was terrible 2 years ago. Terrible.
The stuff that the front office did to that team, that defense this year was just flawless.
And I think
all around.
I think if Steve Smith were healthy, I think they beat San Francisco.
Just imagine if Cam Newton had that same receiving core that they had when they went to the Super Bowl back in like 2004 when it was in Houston. With Mushin Muhammad, a young Steve Smith, a young Kerry Colbert. You have, man, it's just flawless. But you want me to finish this off or do you want to?
Oh, one thing I wanted to say about the Super Bowl. You mentioned the Super Bowl in Houston. This Super Bowl this year was terrible. All the Super Bowls that I can remember were close. They either came down to like a last-second touchdown where someone went ahead or, I mean... And this year, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people quit watching by halftime.
Well, for the record, I called the whooping. I did call the whooping. I hate to brag, but I knew coming in, Peyton had to face the defense like Seattle's all year. And I mean, the way they held Drew Brees down. Drew Brees too.
Oh, you're talking about
the Super Bowl, but I mean, just the way they held Drew Brees down, there was no way that Peyton Manning was gonna. This is going to be the end of the show, guys. I appreciate it.
It's been real. It's been real fun. Thanks again to Davis Webb for joining us. This has been No Mercy on Spreaker Web Radio. We'll come with y'all tomorrow for we'll figure out something to talk about tomorrow. But
tomorrow's a new day. There'll be more headlines.
Yeah, we'll figure something out. Spreaker Web Radio, No Mercy, Nick Lott, Ryan Musich. Thanks for tuning in.
So loud and banging, I turn my speakers up and then I just start swinging.